Aries, how's it going? I'm back. I'm sorry for the delay in this. I was traveling for work and I just got back and I'm here. I'm going to do the weekly. So this is the weekly for the week of April 1st, 2019 for Aries. Looking at the sky this week, so tomorrow we'll have Mercury conjunct Neptune on April 2nd. So pay attention to your psychic energy. Should get some really clear, look at that number 1. Should get some really clear instincts, intuitions, stuff like that. On the 2nd as well. Oh, goodness, there we go. Yeah, that's what I was about to say. On the 2nd, Pisces, the moon goes into Pisces. And so we'll have Mercury in Pisces, Neptune in Pisces, Venus in Pisces, and the moon in Pisces. So be careful on the 2nd and the 3rd. The energy could be a little bit heavy. And you don't just remember that on the 4th, the moon goes into Aries. And so if you start to get a little bit down or a little waterlogged, a little lost in your emotions on the 2nd and the 3rd, just remember that it's only temporary. Now, the big move today is that Mars goes into Gemini, and it feels like it's been in Taurus for a really, really long time. Can I have 3 cards for Aries for the week of April 1st, 2019, please? So this move should start to lighten things up, you know, so that you planted a seed somewhere with the Mars and Taurus, and now the wind is going to start blowing. So you might get some communication about that project, or about whatever seed you planted while Mars was in Taurus, particularly with the moon in Pisces sextiling Mars and Gemini. You should get some sort of emotion or like communication about what's really at the heart of the matter, what you need to consider. Now, I try and relate it to my own experience to share examples. What I've noticed is coming up for the seed that I planted for myself with Mars and Taurus is that the Capricorn planets are really challenging me to say, how committed are you to this, right? Like, so whatever this, I planted the seed, I started to get some information already about it, about what that actually means if that plan, whatever I planted, like, happens, what it's gonna take. All right, that's a lot of cards, but I'll take them. Okay, see, it's like the kind of mixed energy here all over the place, you know, up, down, up, down, up, down. Interesting. Might be that Pisces. But so that's the thing. It's like there's a nice piece of news. You planted that seed. I feel like we had a breakthrough, and now it's like starting to understand the details, the nuances, what's actually involved. You know, it's like, no, it's going to be great. Oh, but do I really want to do this? No, I really want a new beginning. But it seems like it's going to be really hard. And so this is, you know, balancing and understanding about commitment. This is what I said. This is the commitment card. Talking about what do you want to marry? What are you marrying? What are you getting into that could be for life? And you know, it's gonna have some sacrifices you'll have to give, and it's partnership. And so in terms of this, what are you committing to, and what does it mean to commit to it? What's involved? Can you commit? Did you maybe make it too big and you wanted it smaller? Are you saying, right, fuck it, I'll just try it anyway, but there's something that's holding you back? You know, so right now is kind of that's what that Mars in Gemini is going to do to us, is give us a lot of communication. Well, what is it going to take? What are the details? What are the logistics involved? And Capricorn is asking us, is squaring us, saying, do you want to commit to this? Is this something that you plan to commit to? So give me a second. I have to, as you know, I have to translate that one from Dutch, and I will be right back and finish. Okay, so starting off with this one, exchanging gifts. This is about, you know, giving and receiving, and they're two literally different species. So each one brings something very different to the table. But it's not about this person doing everything, and it's not about this animal doing everything. It's finding what this person has to give and receiving it, and finding what you have to give and receive it. But there's a partnership aspect here that may be unexpected, and it also talks about how things may be coming to you that don't necessarily look the way you thought they were going to look. And so it says to be mature, to be wise, and you know, that keeps coming up here pretty clear. At the center we have the childish energy, but on bookending it are two very serious adults. So this one says, you know, make sure that in any partnership that there is an equal give and take. Make sure that both are bringing their A game to the table. Again, this could be in relationships, it could be in business, it could be in friendships or family or anything. That one has to give and receive, and that things, you know, you may be expecting things to look in one way, but kind of keep your mind open as to what that could be. Now, this card here, Bittersweet, talks about, it's kind of like the parenting card. You know, sometimes we have, as parents, we have to make tough decisions that are in the best interest for our kids. And the maturity there comes from knowing what the right thing to do is. Like, even though if you have a 9 a.m. a big meeting on Tuesday morning at 9 a.m. and your friends are like, hey, let's go out drinking. The childish thing to do is say, okay, yeah, fuck it, I'm going. But, you know, sometimes you have to make grown-up decisions, and you may not be happy about it, but you want to look for the greater good. So both of these also talk about, you know, and there's two people, if you look also here, they're both like giving, it's kind of like party, like see, she has a birthday cake there, and this is a gift. So it talks about sort of a balance between that which is fun and that which is mature, you know, so to know when they are in balance. You don't want to have just the fun, but you also don't want to have just the maturity. Now, this is a creator card. It's the first one in the deck. This is the number one there. And this talks about, it says, pay attention to your thoughts, which is what I said about tomorrow, Mercury, Neptune. They may come, you may get some unexpected gifts from the universe communicated to you through your thoughts. Since they're not necessarily what you are expecting, you might not pay attention to them, but be mature enough to recognize the value in all of the ideas or in all of the messages that come to you. And then for the rest here, I see it's like really kind of a struggle between, you know, so there's a lot of fire energy, just going for it. And then there's this other element that's holding us back, and they're both the fours, which is interesting. And these are both fire elements. And I always consider this a Taurus card. So it's really interesting that with Mars just leaving Taurus, this is sort of the wrap-up lesson. You know, it's like whatever happened, you're going to need this sort of concrete, traditional, what's the wisest thing to do here? What do I really want to commit to? Is this a good marriage? Will this be beneficial to all involved? And it's not about like, yeah, whatever, I'll just jump off a cliff, or no, I'm not going to do that. You know, so it's like, what's the happy balance of give and take between not throwing yourself into something with like blind, but also not holding back just because you're scared or because it's not fulfilling you the way you thought it would fulfill you. It's about finding the sweet spot in between these two cards of being able to get what you want done and doing it in a sort of mature fashion. So balancing this fire energy with this very kind of heavy holding back energy, which can be childish. So it's asking, the energy is asking us this week to make sure that our whole being is well balanced, like not too grown up, not too childish. The things that we're getting involved with, let's be mature about what they look like. If we know this guy looks exactly like every other narcissistic boyfriend we've ever had, it's time to grow up and say, wait a second, is this the right, like, should I be committing to this? We can't just jump off cliffs anymore because we know what happens. So to really be wise and prudent about the things that you are getting yourself involved with. Okay, have a great week. I will be doing the monthlies and the new moon shortly to follow. Take care.